Analysts at Vetiva Research say that the half-year performance of the Nigerian equities market is due to increased participation from local investors. Victoria Ejugwu, an analyst at Vetiva Research, joins me now to discuss expectations for the second half of the year. Thank you so much for your time today, Victoria. When you look at the performance of the market in the first half, yes, we're doing way better than our peers, our regional peers, talking about the BRVM and the Ghana Stock Exchange. But I'd like to get your assessment of the performance first.
Thank you, Kenneth, for having me today. So like you rightly said, the NGX has performed better than our sub-Saharan African peers. Yesterday return is at 22%. And the market's performance has majorly been driven by improved institutional investor participation. And that's because local fund managers are on a hunt for above inflation returns. And because of that, we're seeing local funds moving to equities. More so, the companies on the exchange have reported excellent results. We're seeing high oil prices drive improved revenue performance in the oil and gas space. Also, uptick in economic activity has also driven consumer goods performance. The Russian-Ukraine crisis has propped up commodity prices, and that has also helped improve sentiment in the agri space. So when you look at improved participation from local investors and also improved performance from the companies on the exchange, you can see why the market is currently at an all-time high.
Because I'm going to take you up on the performance of the oil and gas sector in Nigeria, because it seems to be on steroids right now. But do you think we've peaked?
Certainly not. Certainly not. Expectations are that oil prices will remain high for the rest of the year. Our projections are that oil prices will average about $105 per barrel for the full year, and we believe that that should drive performance for upstream players, especially Seplat. So when you look at expectations of improved crude oil outputs from the counter and high oil prices, we expect that the company will report excellent revenue, and we also expect profitability margins to improve, and that should drive sentiment for Seplat and other oil and gas counters across board.
But when you look at the national oil company, now it's changing status to a limited company now, and I'm trying to imagine from your point of view how you think this is going to impact the market generally and the possibility of the NNPC listing on the market.
So our views really is with the commercialization of the NNPC, that should help improve sentiment for industry stakeholders. So we should see more joint ventures and production sharing contracts. So the NNPC right now should be acting as a commercial entity, and because of that, they should be on the lookout to make profits. And because of that, we should see increased participation from other companies in terms of entering into joint ventures and production sharing contract, like I earlier stated. So, I mean, expectations are that the NNPC will subsequently list on the exchange, and overall, our expectations are that the new NNPC will drive improved sentiment for the industry.
But now, let's look at expectations for the half-year earnings now, and three areas I wanted you to comment on more or less what you expect in terms of the telecom space and as well the oil and gas.
All right, thank you. So for the oil and gas space, like I earlier stated, we expect higher oil prices to drive revenue growth. For Seplat, we expect expectations are that revenue should come in about $1 billion for the full year, and that's 62% higher year on year. We also expect improved profitability for the counter, and as such, we expect sentiments to be positive for Seplat. For the telecom sector, we're at an era where the need to be online has taken importance, and as such, we expect that data will remain king, and that will drive earnings for telecom counters. Another thing to look at also is the PSP licenses. We expect, although we're still on the lookout to see how MTN and Airtel will operate in this space. Overall, although is that our outlook is positive, they have the brand name, they have the brand presence, and that should help them, be successful in that space. And so 2 things to watch out for in the telecom space is data driving revenue and also mobile money.